I didn't know I was supposed. Look
Okay.
how powerful I am. I had no idea. Okay, moving along to new business, item 7. You should have on there interdistrict MOA, which again, Susan has already mentioned is coming up. And this is the document that has been drafted by the MOA ETC committee in order to have something between just the 2 districts as referenced by the DOT's letter. Susan, do you want to elaborate?
I'll just make 1 or 2 comments. As I mentioned before, this simply tracks the original MOA that the board approved when we first negotiated with DOT, except to remove the DOT as being required to do anything, and as a signatory. There are 3 appendices we did not send out and flood you with information that will be attached to this. The first, and they are the same as the original MOA. The first just lists the 12 towns. The second appendix is 2 staffing plans for during the transition and after the merger that DOT had already signed off on, and that was consistent with the study. And the third was that it incorporated relevant financial and staffing excerpts from the transit study as that identified the capital needs and the operating needs and the staff. We did eliminate the 4th appendix, which was an implementation plan that had a lot of very specific dates about when certain pieces of certain facilities would be constructed, et cetera. And we felt that those dates were significantly now up in the air. We weren't going to try to massage those to get them to be more meaningful. So it would be this MOA between the 2 districts plus those 3 appendices. And I'd like to entertain any questions or comments on this particular item. We will be looking for a motion after discussion on this.
Susan, I got a question. The MOA does not touch on the subject of labor, specifically regarding the union, non-union mix that's going to go in here. Can you elaborate on, there's no mention of it in the MOA. Was that intentional, or where does that stand?
Actually, it was intentional. The union is going to be looking at this, and one of the issues is that we will a renegotiation of that Teamsters contract, which expires in the fall of 2022, will take place. And that has to be done in concert with an overall HR review of what is being provided to all district employees. So we didn't feel that it was necessary or appropriate for us to pin anything down, because we have to follow certain laws, rules, and requirements with regard to what happens with that union contract once a merger occurs with a non-unionized facility. It's a bit of an elephant in the room. Joe, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, if you remember a while back, it was right before we completed the study, we did, as part of the study, we engaged our labor attorney to kind of review the various scenarios. And so we have done that. There's like 3 different possible scenarios, and they all really require working with the union. So it's nothing that we can determine on our own. It's more of a collaborative process of what's going to happen there. So that's why it's not in the MOA for that. And for like Susan said, we don't want to impact our ability to negotiate by putting too much in the MOA. Getting to it. And if you don't have that document still, I can send it to you. I don't have public screen because it's attorney-client privilege.
That okay, Charlie? Or does
No, that's fine, Susan. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions or comments? or concerns? Okay. Leslie, we are looking for a motion to approve the execution of this interdistrict memorandum of agreement regarding the expansion of Estuary Transit District.
So moved, Noel.
Second,
You're muted.
If we could add to be signed by the chairs of both districts, is that necessary or helpful?
That's fine. Yes, include that.
Yeah, we usually say authorize the chairman to.
Right, authorize the chairman to accept, sign and accept.
To execute.
All right, any discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Uh, Any disagreement? Abstentions? Good, motion carries, thank you. Hard work. I don't see any other new business. Under old business, the only thing I want to just very quickly tell you is that we had been working on a marketing brochure that would be the basis for a PowerPoint presentation for all the towns. Joe's had a lot of difficulty getting hold of our marketing person. We finally did get hold of her yesterday, and apparently today she's going to finish it up. So that's also something that's coming imminently. And then once this is all signed, you will each have something to bring back to your towns for town presentations, but we'll get to how that's done later. Chair comments, I guess that was it. Board member comments?
Leslie,
Yes.
probably because in the beginning I was chasing suitable places to move to. So I keep hoping somebody's going to tell me something. I have a long-term rental on the Middlesex Hospital down in Westbrook. I have a weekly attendance there. And every time I go there, I wonder, is there any progress about the ownership, what the owners want to do, if they're interested, if they've found somebody else, whether we are not interested? What's the status?
On the land, you're talking about the purchase of the land?
Yeah,
The Westbrook site.
Right.
We have, Noel and I spoke with the owners. Maybe it's been 2 or 3 months now, I think.
Yes, Joe.
They're still interested in it. And we explained where it was and what the process was going to be, and they seemed open to that. And doesn't seem that there's any other interest in it, unless Noel knows otherwise.
No, I agree completely with Joel, and I actually was up there on another matter a couple of weeks ago, and I was asked about that, and they are very, very interested. The outlets, I will tell you, are struggling. Probably at least 60% of those stores are not occupied. While they remain upbeat about it, I, for one, am not very encouraged if we look down the road a couple of years or whether they're even going to be there any longer, but I don't want to get ahead of it. But in terms of the land, absolutely, they're still interested.
Did they give us a purchase price, an asking price?
No, they did not.
What do we have to do to get an asking price?
They won't give one.
So how does this proceed?
They, nothing was said directly, and Noel, correct me if you think differently. What I took from the conversation was, I think there's some sort of infrastructure improvements they would like to see. And so they're willing to kind of barter for improving. I don't know what they are, but that's just what, I just know how these often go. And so oftentimes when you have something like the state willing, about to build something, it's your opportunity to try and get a gas line brought in or whatever it might be. I don't know what it is. And they often will do those things anyway for the project they're doing. And then you can get some infrastructure done at no cost to you. So they seem to be very open to adjusting the price based on what other things they might be able to get.
So
Well,
they're.
So they didn't want to give a price at all because they want to see. So I don't know. Based on where the location is, maybe it's a more direct access off 95. I don't know what it is. And so with the state, you can often leverage that to get something that they can do cheaply and lower their price.
The
All of you
serious
know,
sellers said,
if you want, obviously, they would want, and we'd want an appraisal on it, but we have not moved to that point yet. That would be, to me, the next step.
Would you say, no, that's a kind of the feeling you got that they want to see if there's an opportunity to get
Yes,
something
I
other
would.
than cash out of it?
Yes. But in terms of bottom line, no, that was not discussed, but Joel's correct when we talked about infrastructure projects.
Okay.
That's not unusual at all. But
Any other board member comments? No? Okay, we're gonna move on then. Our next meeting, which is our regularly scheduled meeting, is August 20. And again, it will be offered at the conference room at the Middletown Garage. In addition, we will be supplying the board with a bus. And I believe that it will stop at exit 4 on Route 9 and again at exit 6 on Route 9. So you can take the bus up there. That bus will also bring everyone home. It will also bring us over to the maintenance facility so we can see the different, or where the buses are, so we can see exactly what's going on in Middletown. Maybe we'll all go for lunch, who knows? But exact information as far as timing, when the bus will be where, will be sent before that next meeting. And we'll also kind of want to know if you're planning to take the bus, so that we're not leaving anybody out or driving away without you if you're running a little late. Any questions on that?
yeah, will there be senior discounts?
Only, not for the Essex representative, because we understand Essex has tons of money. So everybody else, yes, senior discounts.
Okay, I'll get a card.
There we go. Anything else? That's about the next meeting. Motion to adjourn, please, at 10:22. Second,
Second.
Peter. All in favor? Aye. Thank you
Aye.
all so much for taking the time to do this. Clearly, it was important to let you know where everybody was coming from at this point, not waiting another 6 weeks for you to know what's happening. And thank you all for your hard work. I think more than we all signed up for, but hey, that's what volunteering is all about. Thank you all. Am I still the host? Do I get to end the meeting? All right.
Joe, can you
That
give me a call after the meeting?
Sure. Yep. And
Okay,
Charlie,
in
I'm
that
going to
case-
send you that document.
I want to thank all of you who are involved in it, because I have learned an awful lot more since I sat down here very comfortably and listened to you. So I have to tell you, thank you.
Thank you,
Well, that-
Peter.
It's mostly Susan and Joan and Angus who have just been weekly digging in on this thing. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.